Hey guys, it's Sarah from New England Junk Journals, and I am coming on today to hopefully do another video in my Use Up an Entire Fabric Sample Book series. I figure I really wanted to do one more before I'm kind of off for a while, and I'll be restricted to just thrifty haul videos and things like that. Even though I do love to do those, I did want to get one more of these in while I can. And I did experiment a little bit. One of the toughest things I think that I had in this were these like polyester fluffy velvety pieces that they're hard to cut. As you can see, I did a rough job there, but I do hope to put some lace or some trim to cover that up. And I tried to do a like journal card with this one. We'll see. I might be able to decorate this up, and I would actually reback it with something a little bit stiffer. This is more like plain paper or very, very light cardstock, which did not give it the stiffness I wanted. So I may play around with that at some point. And I do have a few of these. I have another piece here. This one's a little bit thinner. I do have this like very upholstery piece here. And what I thought I would do for these, and I'll just do one on camera today, but what I'm thinking of doing for these is to make journal toppers with them and just have these as backgrounds for a journal topper. So with that in mind, I did cut this red piece. Hang on, let me see if I can get more light here real quick. I don't know if that helped at all. But yes, so what I did was I cut out a piece of stiff cardstock, and I just glued it and sewed around the back. I do, like, you can probably see the stitching, but that's gonna get covered up by some elements. And I figured it would fit pretty well on here, especially leaving room for some trim at the bottom. This is just a wallpaper and cardstock journal cover that I've had in my stash. I'm just using it for measurement purposes. I'm not necessarily going to go on here. So I have some little bits from the projects that I've been doing. I have some little applique pieces and some lace here, some hem facing and seam binding, some gimp trim and some like jacquard embroidered trim. I brought my whole basket here that has trim samples that I've saved from trim cards. So I have all that to pick from, but my main theme is going to be good old red, white, and blue. I had my container of all of my patriotic stuff that I save. I was including some of them in a little order that I sent out. And so I figured since they're up here, and since I picked this deep red fabric, I thought I might put together a red, white, and blue themed topper. So I've just got scraps of fabric here left over. I have different ribbons. I have some little strips of fabric from when I was making my patriotic journals last year. These cute little cut out pieces. I think these are supposed to be cut out and made into like little dollies, like little stuffed dollies. And a bunch of little ephemera pieces here that I can work with. These are some, I think maybe they're 1-inch circle cutouts that I had left over. And they're all very Americana. Oh, so these were some of my some of my failures. I was trying to do like a clear waxed seal on top with hot glue. Some of them are not so hot. So we'll see what we can do with these. I'm just gonna spread some of these around so I can see what I have to work with. And see what we have. I'm gonna move this out of the way for now. I don't really need it. It was just kind of giving me an idea of the size I needed for this. So I know I want to keep it in the red, white, and blue family. And I definitely know for starters, I do want to cover up this bottom because of my horrible cutting skills. And I don't know if I want something like this from this stiff applique, or if I want some gathered eyelet. Or if I want to break open the hem facing and see if we can go for that. Let's see here. All right, well, we can start building this up, I guess. Hopefully you can see. I'm gonna zoom you in just a little bit. So hopefully you can see better. I hope you guys are having a good week. This is probably going up the week of the 3rd. Let's see. I don't mind cutting this into pieces and seeing how I like it. Probably cut off some of these. Could start with something like that. What do I want for a paper centerpiece? That's a good question. That is probably too big. It will take up the whole space. And then again, this might be too small. Unless I do a little collage like that. And I do want to clean up these edges. I don't really want the white spot. A lot of these pieces I have gotten out of American Heritage books. They have a huge series of books with all kinds of ephemera printed inside. This is pretty good. Just trying to think if I want to ink the edges of any of these at all. But I feel like that's probably unnecessary, seeing as it's, you know, red, white, and blue. Let's see. So I want it to look nice and full. I don't necessarily want it to look too busy, if you know what I mean. But I'm wondering if I want that to hang over. Like that. Or I could put a piece of this. Although I think that's too much. Let me see if I just get a tiny piece of this. Don't know. So this is also red, white, and blue. I thought this might be interesting to have a piece of this somewhere. I really hope after my surgery my cutting skills get better too. Oh, I'm horrible at cutting a straight line, guys. I think I don't want both of those. I think I just want one. Gonna stay with the heart. I don't know, guys, what do we think? If I put that underneath, I feel like it's gonna be like overkill. Okay, that's too aged. It's not white enough for the tones that are going on here. Oops. The more I put on, the more conspicuous the plain areas are. That is frustrating. Let me see. Trying to look at it, you know, straight down as it is, and then through the viewfinder on my camera to see if that makes any difference. And it kind of does, but I still don't know which one I like better. Here's the thing. I want to cover up kind of that edge here, but I also want this to look balanced. That's definitely not it. Maybe if I just shorten this a little bit. Guys, I think I'm making it worse. Let's see, I still want this to drop down a little bit to disguise this. Let me get the rest of this out of the way. If I do it that way, I'm hiding most of that. Don't want to hide that. All right. All right, now I feel stuck. What is it that I am doing that is making me feel stuck? I have a star that I could add right here, kind of to balance that, to join them together. Okay, I think I want to bring this down a little bit more, bring this out a little bit more. And if I can get my hands to work. Oh my gosh. Guys, something like that. Maybe not exactly that, but something like that. Do I want to add anything else? Here's the thing, I could just go for it and just make this super, super busy. And that is definitely a look. Let me bring back this just to see how this would look on a cover. Not necessarily a gold cover. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't like how, like I want this to be built up more. So let me go look through some of my trim over here. I mean, I've got some pretty wild stuff. That's pretty wild, huh? it is not as, like, this is more off-white. You know what I mean? Like, if you can see compared to that, there's a big difference. That would definitely make it fill out though. Okay, this is blue and white. That would certainly fill it out too. I mean, but I feel like that is altogether too busy. Too much. So let's see what else. Oh, I do have pieces like this that might help fill out the background a little bit. Okay, that's I know it's like we're starting from scratch, right? Nope, that still didn't cover that up. This is silly, isn't it? I have a white ruffle that I could sew to the bottom of this. Now there's a real possibility that that yellow is throwing everything off, but I just like it too much. There's this that I could substitute it out for. How does that look? See if I can get it out of this thing. This thing's messing me up. I mean, it doesn't even have to be square. I suppose it can be on an angle. I wish I had that without the wax. That would be interesting. I wish I could hear you guys from the other end of the screen. That would be really good. I'm sure you guys know exactly what would be, or the configuration of this should be. something like that. Something like that. All right, so I am going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to adjust it all the way I think that it will look nice, and I will come on back and show you the result. All right, guys, so after all that, this is what we ended up with. I did switch out this a couple times in deciding how I wanted it to go. And I don't know, I liked this piece better. And sewing both of these on, like, I don't know if you can tell, but that's quite dimensional. It's like all puffy because I guess there was such a thick piece underneath. But I like how it came out. I like this red, white, and blue embroidered ribbon here. And we have a couple of stitched pieces from fabric. This piece of the eyelet trim. And this piece from the samples that I had, some like piping samples. And I put the lace applique underneath as a background and just stuck this iron-on star here, but I just put it down with Fabri-Tac. And I really like how it came out. So I have probably about 4 more that I will make before I pop back on with another idea, but I will be sure to show them to you when I get them all made. So from here on out, I think it's just going to be thrifty hauls. I think I have a Temu haul, all those things until my hand is strong enough to start doing some other things again. But in conclusion, thank you guys for joining me for this not final, I'll have more of these to come, but for now, this piece in our Use Up an Entire Fabric Sample Book series. All right, you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.